Hey y'all, I am recording this quick, uncut, unedited video to talk about breastfeeding. For those of you who have not breastfed before, I guarantee you that it is a lot more challenging and emotional than you ever imagined. I remember going into breastfeeding, I expected it to be hard, I expected maybe some discomfort, but I did not expect the challenges that I faced. My son really struggled with latching and bruised me a lot, and I would say I had excruciating pain a lot of the time for months. I used the shield, nipple shield, for 3 months, I believe, before for some reason I was able to go off cold turkey, and my son learned kind of how to latch differently, and it didn't hurt quite so bad, so I didn't need the shield. The other thing about the shield is you think the shield is supposed to take away pain, but the real purpose is that it helps your kid latch. And for me, the shield didn't really take away much, if any, of the pain. So it was just really challenging. Beyond the physical challenges, just the emotional and hormonal imbalances that breastfeeding does in your body. Like, you think that you'll start to feel yourself again after having a baby, but I didn't feel myself again until I stopped breastfeeding. I breastfed for 6 months, which, listen, breastfeeding for any amount of time is a major accomplishment to be proud of. And it's also okay if you don't breastfeed. I just think a lot of people get discouraged from doing it maybe too early, but even if I'd only gone a few weeks, I still would have been proud of me because it's hard. But the fact that I made it to my actual goal, which was 6 months, is insane. Another thing I thought is that when I started weaning around 6 to 7 months, that I might think, well, I might as well continue because we finally got the hang of it. Well, yes, we did finally get the hang of it in a sense, but the mind games that breastfeeding do, where you are the sole responsibility for your child's sustenance, and if you skip a pump sesh, if you forget your pump parts, it is all on you that your son or daughter is probably going to starve. This is what my mom brain tells me. You know, it's not necessarily true, but that's what happens. And I fed every 2 hours for 6 months, and so I had to pump every 2 hours in order to keep my production up. So I just was so mentally fatigued and exhausted. Unfortunately, I didn't experience some of the beautiful positives that there can be in breastfeeding, which is like an increased bond with your baby, and just a feeling of closeness. For me, breastfeeding was so challenging that I struggled to feel those positive benefits. The only thing that I could bank on is that I was feeding my baby something that was curated for him, and that was a loving sacrifice that I made for my child, and I'm proud of myself for doing it. And again, like, it's fine if you don't, but just don't let anyone discourage you from trying. Be prepared that it could be really challenging, and definitely prioritize your mental health, which is what I ended up doing when I weaned, because mentally I was really in need of a hormone reset and to just have my own body again. And after weaning at about 6 to 7 months, I experienced a month or 2 of hormonal ups and downs that were really challenging, and would have been worse. The faster you wean, the worse your hormonal shifts are. And thankfully I took a month or so to wean, so it wasn't too severe. But once everything leveled out again and I was dried up completely, I finally started to feel myself again. There's a certain word that's used on like Facebook or social media called "a mom gets her pink back," which is like a flamingo thing. Like, apparently flamingos lose some of their color when they have young, and then it comes back after a while. But it basically just signifies, like, you start to feel yourself again, you start to feel healthy and happy more than you ever have in a long time. And it is truly when I started to get my pink back, once I was level hormonally after breastfeeding. And so I'm not saying any of this to discourage anyone from breastfeeding. I think it is a beautiful choice to make if possible, and something worth working toward. But I just want to encourage you all. You're not in this alone. This is hard for many women, and it's okay if you need to stop for your mental health, or it's okay if you need a supplement and take a feed off a day. It's okay. It's so hard, and it is, again, it's worth it, but it is not everything. And so prioritize your mental health first. And yeah, I guess that's just a really quick conversation about breastfeeding. I have a lot more I could share. My baby is 9.5 months now, so it's been a couple of months since we breastfed, and I've just been loving the bottle feeding journey and realizing that bottle feeding is so bonding too. So anyways, any other questions, drop them down below. This is my very quick, unedited breastfeeding video. Have a great day.